I want to quickly talk to you about the Amex Blue Cash Preferred versus the Blue Cash Everyday. So those two credit cards are from American Express, but there are differences when you consider the Blue Cash Preferred versus the Blue Cash Everyday. Okay, so basically, those both of these cards offer a high cashback reward opportunities in a number of popular everyday spendings, everyday spending categories, including at U.S. supermarkets and also U.S. gas stations. So this is really good if you have a large family and you shop frequently at U.S. supermarkets, and also if you let's say you fill up your gas tank every now and then. While the Blue Cash Preferred offers high rewards in categories like groceries, it also charges an annual fee. So you will rack up benefits, but you also pay fees. So just make sure that you've done your math correctly, and make sure that you are coming on top. Okay. The Blue Cash Everyday charges no annual fee in exchange for reduced rewards. So if you think about the Blue Cash Preferred, you have higher rewards, but you have to pay a fee. Whereas the Blue Cash Everyday doesn't give you that much rewards, but you're also paying a lower annual fee. Okay, so this is kind of cool. And I mean, one thing I want to say here is that the let me show you on the screen real fast here at a glance how this two cards stack up. So you have the Blue Cash Preferred card from American Express, and you have the Blue Cash Everyday card from American Express. So in terms of welcome bonus, and that's a good thing, those two cards actually offer a welcome bonus. So it's 250 when it comes to the Blue Cash, and 200 when it comes to the Blue Cash Everyday card. Okay. And in terms of rewards, you have a long list of rewards, like from 6% to 1%. I'll speak about that later on. But so that's for the Blue Cash Preferred. But for the Blue Cash Everyday, you have 3% and 1%. And so that's pretty interesting. So let me talk to you now about the Blue Cash Everyday versus Blue Cash Preferred highlights. I want to do a quick comparison based on the categories here. Let's first talk about the welcome bonus. So welcome bonus, when it comes to welcome bonus, you have the Blue Cash Preferred actually winning big time. The reason is that there is a little delta when it comes to the welcome bonus, because the preferred offers a welcome bonus of 250 when you spend 3,000 on your new card within the first 6 months of account opening. So I want you to understand, you get $250 as a welcome bonus when you spend 3,000 on your card within the first 6 months. So that's actually what? That's $500 on average per month. And often you only have 3 months to earn a welcome bonus, but this card doubles that time frame. So that gives you more time and also more flexibility, because you just need to spend an average of just, like I said, $500 every month to earn the bonus. The Blue Cash Everyday offers a slightly lower $200 stipend credit, a welcome offer, after you spend $2,000 in purchases on your new card within the first 6 months. So here you are speaking about an average of just 334 monthly. Okay. So both cards' welcome offers provide a generous 6 month time frame to meet the respective spending categories, and both requirements could be reasonable for typical spenders. Okay. We're not speaking about something really big here. Now, the Blue Cash Everyday Welcome Offer is easier to obtain and offers slightly more value for the spending required, but the Blue Cash Preferred packs a more valuable offer that could still be reasonably earned through day-to-day spending. So that's for the welcome bonus. What about the reward? The rewards rate here, the Blue Cash Preferred wins. Okay, because of how the rewards are stacking up. Because you will find a hard time finding. You will have a hard time finding any card to rival the rewards rates of the Blue Cash Preferred. with its 6% cashback at US supermarkets on up to $6,000 per year, then 1%, and on select US streaming services. So when I speak about US streaming services, I'm speaking about Hulu, Disney, Netflix, and so on and so forth, and YouTube, by the way. And you will also earn 3% back on transit at U.S. gas stations and 1% on all other purchases. So this is really good because it gives you flexibility. So that's for the Blue Cash Preferred. The Blue Cash Everyday Card, on the other hand, actually does something totally different because it offers just 3% cash back at U.S. supermarkets, U.S. gas stations, and on U.S. online retail purchases on up to $6,000 per year in every category, then 1% back, and also 1% on all other purchases. Okay, so both of those cards are great options for an everyday spending cards, especially if you are looking for flexibility. If you're looking for some kind of flexibility is actually the key word. And so what I love about this card here is that you have like flexibility, but also adaptability. Okay. So what about the annual fee winner? So if you think about the Amex Blue Cash Preferred and the Blue Cash Everyday, let's talk about the annual fee winner. The annual fee winner here is pretty clear. The Blue Cash Everyday, okay? Because the Blue Cash Preferred charges a $95 annual fee. So $0 intro annual fee for the first year, but you're paying $95 subsequently, okay? So that's for the Blue Cash Preferred. The Blue Cash Everyday actually comes with no annual fee, so there's nothing to really worry about. You don't have to think about you don't have to go through a certain math strategy to say, okay, how do you come out? How do you come out on top? So it is very easy to see how the Blue Cash Everyday wins in the long run because you won't have to pay a yearly fee for a card membership for a similar redemption options. This said, if you actually max out the Blue Cash Preferred US supermarkets 6% earning, you will earn $360 in cash back on those purchases alone in a year. Okay, well more than offsetting the card's annual value. So it's all about your spending. It's all about the volume of spending that you do every single month or every single year, and what your family actually spends the money on. So that's for the annual fee. You also have the foreign transaction fee winner. So here you have a tie because the Blue Cash Preferred and the Blue Cash Everyday tie in this category because they both charge a 2.7% foreign transaction fee. So those are not cards. You don't want to use these cards overseas, or you do not want to use these cards when shopping on US on non-US platforms. Okay, so if you plan to travel abroad with your cash back or shop online in foreign currency, consider a no foreign transaction fee card. So which card earns the most? If you think about the MS Blue Cash Preferred versus the Blue Cash Everyday, you have to understand that the card that earns the most comes it really comes down it boils down to the category you are tracking. So although it comes with a $95 annual fee, the Blue Cash Preferred will help you earn more cash back during the first year and over time than the Blue Cash Everyday. And the Blue Cash Preferred offers higher rewards in popular categories like U.S. supermarkets and select U.S. streaming subscription services. So, for instance, if you think about the Blue Cash Everyday, here you are earning 3% back in a bonus category. The Blue Cash the Blue Cash Preferred doesn't include, right, U.S. online retail purchases because the Blue Cash Preferred doesn't have this online U.S. online retail purchases to account for. The cool thing is both cards earn the same 3% cash back at U.S. gas stations and unfortunately have spending caps on their rewards. Still, if you think about it, the Blue Cash Preferred only caps spending at U.S. supermarkets to $6,000 per year, whereas all 3% categories for the Blue Cash Everyday are capped at 3% each. So that gives you an idea of which card actually is better for you, depending on the scenario you're thinking about. So to show you what I really mean, imagine for a moment that you spend, hypothetically, of course, $1,200 per month on a credit card. So for groceries, you're paying $500. For gas stations, you're paying $100. Streaming services, $50. Online retail purchases, $250, and miscellaneous expenses, $300. And you want to multiply those monthly expenses out for a full year, and the Blue Cash Preferred comes out well ahead, even when taking the annual fee into consideration after the first year. So I want you to look on the screen here. See what you have on the screen. Here is how the math plays out too. For the total yearly cashback for the Blue Cash Preferred, you are speaking about $498. For the Blue Cash Everyday, you are looking at $348. Okay, and you can see how the math actually comes. How do you actually get the math? Okay. So let me talk to you about why you might want to get the Blue Cash Preferred from American Express. So one thing for sure, this Blue Cash Preferred has an annual fee. Okay, $95. Of course, they waive it the first year, but subsequent years you have to pay it. So if you're not really afraid of an annual fee and you want to maximize rewards over the long haul, the Blue Cash Preferred is certainly worth it because it's a long-term play. This is a long-term game, okay? It's actually the perfect go-to credit card for earning massive rewards on some of your most common purchases, from groceries and gas to Uber rides, especially if you have a large family. Like if you spend in certain categories over time, this card is actually a great place to think about. So on top of the rewards you will earn with your card, the Blue Cash Preferred also gives you card benefits like car rental loss and damage insurance. That's something good, especially if you are traveling a lot or you rent cars a lot, even if you are traveling domestically, either internationally or domestically. Okay, you have also a purchase protection. You have extended warranty coverage, and you have access to the MS Global Assist hotline. So this is a pretty good hotline. Okay, and additionally, you can qualify for return protection, a benefit that guarantees American Express will accept the return of eligible items when the retailer would not take them back. So this is pretty good from a flexibility point of view. And you also have access to MX Pay Planet, which gives you the option to pay off small purchases under $100 throughout the month, or split up purchases of $100 or more into monthly payments with a fixed fee. So in terms of redemption, your rewards will come in the form of reward dollars that you can redeem as a statement credit to cover any purchases that you make with your credit card. So why should you get the Blue Cash Everyday? So I spoke to you about why you should get the Blue Cash Preferred. Why you should get the Blue Cash Everyday? Well, the cool thing about this Blue Cash Everyday, what I love is that it has no annual fee. You don't have to pay $95, okay? So this card has no annual fee. So it makes it an excellent choice if you don't spend a lot every month, or you are simply averse to paying an annual fee for a credit card. You will earn fewer rewards overall. Don't get me wrong here, but that's pretty good. But you won't have to pay a fee to carry this card, and you will still earn a substantial amount of cashback on everyday purchases like groceries and gas. So this is really cool, especially from a flexibility point of view. And also, the Blue Cash Everyday offers a longer zero interest offer on purchases and balance transfers than the Blue Cash Preferred, okay? And with a 0% intro APR on purchases and balance transfers for 15 months, then a 20 to 29% variable APR. The cool thing is this card allows you to have plenty of time to pay off any balances without being bogged down in interest payments, okay? Something to really think about. Now, the Blue Cash Preferred, on the other hand, features an intro 0% APR for 12 months on purchases and balance transfers before an ongoing 20% to 29% variable APR kicks in. So that again, this gives you flexibility, and you will receive cardholder benefits like access to a global assist hotline. So same thing I've said before, right? You have the Amex Pay It Planet, you have car rental loss and damage insurance, and you have purchase protection against damage or theft. And this card also comes with two shopping credits. So this is really cool. You can receive $7 every month after spending $9.99 or more every month on an eligible subscription to the Disney bundle, subject to auto renewal, and up to $15 per month in statement credits when you purchase Home Chef meal solutions online. Again, this is subject to auto renewal. In terms of redemptions, you can redeem your rewards dollars for a statement credit to your account, which offers a lot more flexibility than you might think. This means what? It means you can use your rewards to cover anything you buy with your card or even bills you pay. So the bottom line here is that when it comes to the Blue Cash Preferred versus the Blue Cash Everyday, you have to think about flexibility, you have to think about affordability, and you have to think about your stance when it comes to paying an annual fee. Okay, so paying an annual fee just means that you have more flexibility when it comes to racking up rewards over the long run. So while the Blue Cash Everyday from American Express is an excellent cashback credit card in its own right, the Blue Cash Preferred card from American Express actually offers more long-term value. So my preference will go to the preferred card. Okay, if you're not really sure which one is right for you, choosing one over the other may depend on your own spending categories, especially with groceries. Everything depends on how much you spend on groceries. A substantial budget item for many, okay, especially in this economy, okay. This is an important element to think about. And so if you go with either or, remember that you have to account for the grocery spending. The fact that you have the 6,000 cap on grocery spending, okay, in either car's calculation. So one thing for sure though, either way, both of these rewards credit cards have the potential to leave you better off in terms of the cash back you can earn. But you should take the time to compare them in order to see which one really comes ahead. But you can also compare them to other top cashback credit cards before you decide, because again, every family is different, every spending pattern is different, and maybe your spending pattern will be different from my spending pattern depending on the kind of stuff that I buy and the seasonality of my purchases. So just make sure that you do the math to see exactly which card actually fits your specific spending patterns. In conclusion, to this conversation, I spoke to you about Amex Blue Cash Preferred versus the Blue Cash Everyday. I gave you the key takeaways, the main details. Gave you the highlights in terms of the spending categories and the card that earns the most. Thank you so much. God bless you. I will see you next time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.